Hey friends, welcome to the Johnson City Living Podcast, where we learn about the people, places, events, and flavors that make Johnson City just a lovely place to live. I'm your host, Colin Johnson, with the Colin and Carly Group and Keller Williams Realty. If you're interested in buying or selling a home in the area, or if you're looking at investing in a rental property, give us a call at 423-930-8003, and we will look forward to helping you. Now, let's get to today's episode. It is a gorgeous fall day here at Johnson City. The leaves are falling. The air is a little crisper. We are recovering from Helene, and it's just been awesome to see the volunteer state not just be a name, but it's like amazing how our community is coming together to help out all the people who are suffering from flooding. And we're going to be rebuilding for years. And so you guys can pray for us as we're redoing that. But enough of the down stuff. I am excited to bring these new guests to the podcast for you guys to meet. Welcome to the podcast, Adrian and Ddendyl Rogers.
Thank you very much.
You guys own, you're starting a new business called the Feisty Pigeon, right?
That is correct.
And that's going to be in Johnson City.
It is, right in downtown.
Okay. Well, you guys are podcast listeners, so you probably know what the first question is. What most do you love about Johnson City?
Oh, there's a lot. First and foremost, the people. We love the people. It's just been such a pleasure getting to know the community, and everyone's been so warm and receptive. And if you're just, born and raised and never left Tennessee, you don't know that other places are not like that. So we love the people. And I mean, it's just such a beautiful area. Every time I'm driving pretty much anywhere, I'm just in awe of how gorgeous this area is. I told him last week, if you want me to ever leave, I will be dead.
Because it doesn't get any prettier than this.
That's right.
I like it.
Yeah,
or you have like some sort of contest where you try and find someplace prettier and you just see the whole world.
Yep.
Probably not going. I don't think you're going to find it.
I don't think so either. I've lived in a lot of places, and this is by far the prettiest I've ever lived in.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about that?
Great community. The art scene. It's a really cool place. The foundation that is built on is really cool, and we enjoy the downtown area, especially. All the local business owners and everybody has been super helpful with us getting this up and going. So it's been a refreshing change of pace, I think. Yeah.
I like it. Okay. So
No traffic.
No traffic.
No traffic.
Sort of ish, maybe. We get mad when we can't get through one light. You're like, seriously, I got to wait here twice? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Where'd you guys come from? Where'd you move from?
We moved here from Charlotte, North Carolina.
So you got a little traffic over there?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you said you lived lots of places. Where all over you live?
Well, before Charlotte, I was in Las Vegas. I had a performing residency on the Strip. And before Vegas, where was I? I was in D.C., Baltimore area. I've lived in Traverse City, Michigan, Miami, Florida, Los Angeles. Pretty sure I'm forgetting a few places, but we grew up in Western New York. That's how we've known each other.
Well, that's cool.
Friends for a long time. Mm-hmm.
You met when you were 6, you said earlier.
Met in grade school.
And now you're married.
Yes,
we are.
Just took a little while.
It did take a
little. Did you
while.
guys talk the whole time?
Yeah, we've always been friends.
Always
we've always maintained that relationship. So it was a little bit longer than I'm sure she would have preferred, but we got there eventually.
He broke up with me in the 7th grade. Just saying.
Sometimes
he came back around.
We just don't know what we're doing. We're not very bright.
We can't rely on.
If you haven't figured that out,
you can't rely on the good decision-making skills of a teenage boy.
It's true.
This is true. One of my friends who runs a coalition for kids, he tells me often that the brain for guys is definitely not fully formed until we're like 28. So you should make major life decisions before then. Right. So you were just waiting.
Just waiting on the right time.
And you knew like maybe, but I want to make sure.
Yes.
Make sure.
Yep.
I like it. So were you downtown and you got in a fight with a pigeon, or did one just poke you in the foot or something?
It was close to that. My wife is a big fan of pigeons.
I like pigeons.
We happened to be out seeing a friend of mine play music at a distillery in Charlotte.
Okay.
And on the wall was a picture that had pigeons on it.
Okay.
Happened to be her birthday. I bought that picture for her. And the name of that photo was Feisty Pigeons, which eventually snowballed into the Feisty Pigeon as a little tip of the hat to that.
I love it. I love it. That's great. That's a neat story to that. Yeah. I didn't know if like you got accosted by some pigeon. Most people aren't pigeon fans, so that's pretty exciting.
She's a bigger fan than I, but it's about compromise. So,
Right.
Yeah.
He's coming around.
You might need a feisty pigeon to guard your front doorstep whenever you're downtown.
We're working on training a guard pigeon.
That'd be good to fly for all the other ones. Don't be pooping here.
Right.
Don't be running off our people. So, feisty pigeon is what? What is this thing that you're creating?
We are, firstly, we are a wine bar. And we will be Johnson City's, as I'm aware, first wine bar. So we will be the first, newest, and oldest wine bar in Johnson City.
I like it, and only.
Yep.
First,
So, but we will also have a cocktail program with that as well. And then we'll do some beer, some seasonal kind of rotation stuff there. We'll be offering some small plate kind of items as far as food goes. So we'll have charcuterie, some spreads, things like that, little desserts. And then we'll also have an artwork kind of component to it. So we'll have artwork for sale throughout the space, as well as kind of a retail area up front. And then we'll be doing some live music there, provided by my wife, who's an amazingly talented musician as well.
Well, and she alluded to the fact she was a resident on the Strip. And
it doesn't come easy.
So tell us more about that.
So I did 8 years in Las Vegas. 6 of those was working almost exclusively for an MGM casino right on the boulevard. And it was my show 3 days a week. It was a lot of fun. I guess how I got there was I did The Voice a long time ago. Did you
get picked?
I was on Team Shakira for a few months.
That's awesome.
So that kind of catapulted me being able to be a full-time musician, and I've played all over the country. And I do primarily now. I actually do dueling piano shows and corporate and private events. So the idea of not just combining what we do together was we wanted to spend a little more time together. Since we're a little late to the marriage party. But we wanted to spend some more time together, and we figured a place that houses both our passions would be the best way to do that.
Gotcha. Now, Adrian, do you play the piano, or are you going to be the other dueling piano?
No, that would be just mean to everybody involved. So
Gotcha.
I'll leave it to her.
Yeah, I'd be like.
He sings and plays guitar, though. Don't let him fool you. He's very talented as well.
Okay, I like it. That's cool. Thanks for sharing about that. I bet that was a pretty cool ride with you.
It was very cool.
Yeah. Okay, so where are you guys going to be located? Where's this Feisty Pigeon?
We are at 109 Cherry Street, Suite 20. So we are located in the Cherry Street Commons Shopping Center with Southern Craft is the one on the end.
Yeah.
We're in the shops there beside that, between Made Beauty and Into the Fire.
Nice.
Is where we're located.
Yeah. That's a good spot.
We think so as well.
Yeah. Southern Craft is just fantastic. We tip our hat to those guys all the time. So
We eat there a lot.
their wings are unbelievable. So tell me about like wine and how you got into that, right? There's a million businesses you could start. How did you get an affinity for wine? Where'd you learn how to curate and wines? Take us through the whole stuff, the whole process.
So
Boone's Farm forward.
Yeah. So where we grew up is just right beside the Finger Lakes in New York. Had absolutely no bearing on my wine career. We had no idea that we were in the backyard of a world-class wine region until way later in life.
Which I think it's too cold, I think, maybe in my mind. I'm like, if you're outside Buffalo,
we're most notably
every day in the winter. And
most notably, that region is known for their ice wine, which is where you let the grapes freeze on the vines. And so you get a little bit of sweeter wine because you just press them while they're still frozen, get that nice sweet juice. That's what they're known for. But
Interesting.
As with all the other growing regions, things are warming up a little bit, and so therefore you're starting to see a lot more different grape varietals pop up in that region, and even some like Pinot Noirs and Chardonnays, the ones that people are familiar with.
That's cool.
Yeah. But other than that, I've been in the restaurant industry pretty much my whole entire life. My parents owned a diner when I was born, So just worked my way up and eventually found myself on the bar side of things and fell in love with wine, not the traditional wine bug, I will say. For me, I was working cocktails and doing wine, but I gravitated towards wine specifically for the money. So it was easier to sell expensive bottles of wine than it was to sell 10 cocktails for the same price. That's what drove me into wine. And from there, it was basically just being a big nerd. And it gave me the opportunity to just dive into something that you can never learn all about.
Yeah.
And so that's where I kind of found my love for wine, was the technical side of things. So,
I love it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And now have you studied it and you've gone to different vineyards all over the country? I mean, how do you find these wines that like, how does one open a wine bar? It's like, oh, okay, these are the wines we're going to serve. And there is the fun part about it, which is that you get to drink a bunch of wine, right? Unless it's bad.
I have been to many, many different vineyards and wine regions and things like that all over the country. And really the best part about wine is that you can open a book in a bottle and you can go anywhere in the world, right? Which I like about that. You can travel just from the comfort of your couch while you're learning something. And that was probably my favorite aspect of it. That was pretty much it. Just bottles and books is how I got to where I am.
That's cool.
And then decided one day I thought I knew enough. So I took the sommelier certification exam and passed that, which opened a lot of doors for me career-wise. And then pretty much done everything in the industry besides owning my own place. So that's how I got here.
Yeah.
Just checking that box. So
That's pretty awesome.
yeah.
Now, did you like wine as well?
I love wine.
Ddendyl?
I love how much he loves wine. But
Yeah.
I mean, I did not have the extensive knowledge that he did. I bartended in my earlier days, and that was a lot of fun. But I was more the nightclub bartender, not really the super fancy, knowledgeable type of bartender and waiter and all that. I was more volume. But I enjoy wine a lot. And but he's definitely he's upgraded my palate. I feel like I can taste better wines than I did before. Though there was a bottle last week that was turned, and he was like, "Oh, don't drink that." And I thought it was delicious, but so I guess we're not there yet. But don't worry, he's handling the wine selection, and I'm just helping him.
That atmosphere. Yeah. I love it. That's fun. Now, you said you also had culinary experience. Do you both have culinary experience too? Because you're going to be serving small plates and that kind of stuff?
I have worked every facet of the restaurant industry. I started back of house, or in the kitchen, if you will. Back of house is an industry term for that. But I started quite literally flipping burgers at a racetrack, and worked my way up. I've worked steakhouse, sushi, pretty much all the cuisines in between. So I do have that experience that I can bring to the table as well.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you going to have a kitchen there? Or
We do. Yep.
So it's going to be a big deal.
We hope so. Yeah.
And eventually we're going to, one of our focuses menu-wise is going to be our charcuterie offerings. And we're trying not to just offer, cheddar and grapes. We're trying to offer cheeses that people haven't heard before and finer meats and stuff like that. And I don't have as much culinary experience as he does. Like I said, I bartended, I'd worked in restaurants, but as far as making, food and recipes, that was just kind of home taught for me. But we eventually would like to do, weddings and private parties and stuff like that, and do like the grazing tables and whatnot. So that's going to be something that we're hoping to get to pretty quickly as well. So
yeah, those are cool. I like that. It's a great idea. Tell me about like the atmosphere in there. What's it going to feel like? What do you hope the guest is going to enjoy most about it?
So I think aesthetically and as far as the vibe, if you will, that we're going for is we want it to be a little refined, but still fun. So
and comfortable.
We don't want it to come across as a stuffy place where you might not feel comfortable, or you may not feel like you're underdressed, things like that. So it will be bright, colorful. It'll be fun, and that's because being the first wine bar here, we want it to be accessible to everyone, and we want it to be a fun experience. So it can be your, date night spot where you can come dress up a little bit. It can be your after work spot where you come and grab a glass with your friends and everything in between. So,
yeah. And then are you going to be open every day, or how often are you going to be open?
We will be closed on Mondays and Tuesdays so that we can recuperate and have some time for ourselves.
And do that for sure.
And that lets us provide a better experience, if we're well rested. So we'll be closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then we'll be open in the afternoons Wednesday, Thursday, and then all day Friday, Saturday, brunch on Sunday.
Cool.
Yes.
Brunch. We love brunch. So good.
We're also hoping at some point to do, well, it's not beer church because it's wine church, but I've always loved how House of Blues does their gospel brunch. And so we are going to do Praising and Pinot and Praise.
We're workshopping
We're workshopping it.
Tell me about House of Blues. I didn't know they did this. So what do they do?
So they do a gospel brunch on Sundays, and where they just bring in a big old choir and they praise the Lord and eat a lot of food. And so
cool.
we kind of want to do a very similar thing, someplace that's very comfortable. Our faith means a lot to us, so we want everybody to feel very welcome. And it's like the sign, like the place we like, y'all means all.
Yeah.
And we just want everybody to have a place that if they, wouldn't necessarily step in a traditional church, that they feel like they have a place that they can just
come and worship
and get a little word in. We're gonna try to find some pastors to do like a mini message and rotate and stuff like that.
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, that'll be
that idea.
a little bit down the line. We need to open up first and like get our feet in the water and everything.
But
so
with the younger crowd, with the university so close, and then of course the downtown residents being younger crowd at our age, we thought that there may be a call for something like that. Come down, grab a glass of wine, listen to a little message, be out by the football.
I think that's super cool. Yeah. I hope that takes off. I think if the Lord put it on your heart to do that, then it's going to thrive and go well. Yeah. What do you guys like to do for fun when you're not trying to open a restaurant?
Be outside as much as we can. That's that's why we love the area. She asked me where I might want to be to retire, and I've always told her, the western part of the Appalachian Mountains is just beautiful,
Really,
and having access to the lakes and the being able to go paddle and kayak, go hike, things like that are huge to us. So we love the area for that.
It is so beautiful here. Even with the craziness going on, it's still, you look up and you're like, from a distance, it just looks amazing still.
Yep.
It's just beauty. And then just the raw power of it all was just unbelievable to see the different things. Driving through now, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So what are some things that have led, how did you choose Johnson City? Let's talk about that, because there are a lot of places in the world. And you lived in like 30 different places, Ddendyl. So how'd you choose little Johnson City off the map?
So we were looking to go on our anniversary / honeymoon trip. And we had at that point settled on Savannah. She had never been. I told her it's a cool little vacation spot.
Yeah.
But she also included in that same statement that she had never been on a winter mountain vacation. So I took a look on Airbnb just to kind of see what might be through the mountains here, and we found a little spot in Gray. Beautiful little hobbit house.
I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, so this was a win.
Is it actually the one like off the interstate, like you can see it a little bit?
No, this one's kind of tucked back in a little bit.
Okay.
It's actually a wedding venue back there, but they have a few houses on the property that they rent out.
Waterstone.
Yes.
Yes.
I watched a video about it
Yes.
on like,
And it was beautiful, but one of the reasons we liked it was no Wi-Fi, no TVs. We could kind of come and completely unplug. So that's what we did. On our third day, we decided to go out and explore Johnson City a little bit, and not cook at the Airbnb that night. And I told her, it's easy. We'll just stop by the local wine bar and we'll bar hop from there and find something to do tonight. And so we left Gray. We came to downtown here and got out of the car, and I Googled, wine bar, and thought that Google must be broken.
you have to go far for the wine
Has
bar.
to be a wine bar in downtown, and we asked around to a couple of the other bars, and everyone told us there was not. And so we were actually in the process of signing on a different location in North Carolina, and we loved Johnson City so much, we went back and ran the numbers to see if we could make it work here, and we thought we could. And so just a few short weeks later, we came back and explored around for some venues and found the venue that we are currently in, and it's all been in motion since then.
That's cool.
I said I had one more crazy move in me.
That's it. One more.
One more.
This is the last one.
Because we only got to Charlotte. We only got to Charlotte about a year prior to that, and so it was a long, hard conversation of, do we really want to uproot ourselves and move again? And we liked this area enough to do so.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I think it's neat that you feel peace about it, and you're like, all right, we're going. And
It felt right.
Yeah, and like you said, the people here are fantastic. They welcomed you and they'll support you. And
Just got lucky there,
yeah, it's a great spot. I'm sure you're gonna do great. So you're not serving food now. So where do you guys like to go eat currently? You said Southern Craft. Where's like a date night for you? Tell to our listeners about what you guys, being from out of the area, it's kind of neat to get a different perspective.
Well, we haven't had a ton of date nights since we started. I mean, opening a bar is like a full-time job, and we're so tired at the end of the day that we're not really.
You just drive through McDonald's, get the $1 menu. Be fine.
So, well, Southern Craft, I think we've eaten there probably the most since we've
easily
been here. Yeehaw Tacos.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big fan of those. And where else have we?
What's your favorite taco?
I've been to a few other spots because I came out and did some kind of research on the market and what our,
competition looks like.
What our other, exactly, what the marketplace was like and what we would kind of expect. So, I love Juniper, obviously, as far as like a nice spot. I haven't had the opportunity to take her yet.
She's like holding her hands up, like, what's the deal?
Apparently he's been to all the date night spots.
Hey, guess what? We can put him on the spot right now and say, when do you take her to Juniper?
Yeah.
So Juniper
tomorrow night
Juniper is going to be, I think she's in town tomorrow night, so that's probably sounds like a good plan. I should probably get on that.
Yeah, you might want to get on the app, reserve a table right now.
Yeah, I can't give him too much grief because I do travel a lot for work, so.
So you're traveling a lot still, singing and?
Yeah. So, I mean, in a couple days I'm in Atlanta, and then Charleston, and then back to Georgia, then Florida, Vegas again, Florida again. So he's not going to see me.
So I get a lot of date nights by myself, as you see.
So now we know who's opening the wine.
Somebody's got to do it.
She's like, she just filed in. Is it done yet?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be back in a couple
Change the color and I'll be back.
I'll be back in a few weeks to check up on you.
This is going to be the longest run I've had in a while, and that was honestly unfortunate because when the floods came in, my company had to reschedule everybody and whatnot. So I was supposed to be more localized, but yeah.
Well, that's cool that you can pivot and still go make money.
Yeah. So Juniper, when is that going to be?
Sounds like Thursday night.
Sounds like, yeah.
What time is that, Adrian?
I think 7:30 is what I made the reservation for.
Sounds where, so you like to hang out outside, and then tell me more about like some other businesses that you think that maybe you haven't seen here that you're like, oh, we could maybe open this, and did you see anything that like we don't have that, like a wine bar that Johnson City, somebody listening might go, oh, I could go open a crystal store. I don't know. I'm just looking at a crystal ball over here.
Yeah. I think that part of it is you don't find what you're not looking for, and we hadn't necessarily thought about any other businesses at the time. We do have, expansion in mind, obviously. As she pointed out, we want to get to doing private events and off-site caterings and things like that, wedding bars as soon as we can, which would be an extension of this business.
Yeah.
But as far as what is missing, I think that's one of the things we liked about Johnson City was that it does have a lot for the size of the city that it is. And we couldn't believe that there wasn't a wine bar because in the small town that we were living in just outside of Charlotte, there was 3, and it's about the same size as Johnson City. So, that was the one that stood out glaringly to us. Mm-hmm. I'm sure the longer that we're here, we may find some more of those niche kind of things to bring to the community, but we want to start with wine and give everybody that experience first, and then we'll plan down the road.
That'll be awesome. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out for sure. And tell me something about some people in your lives that helped you get to where you are that you might want to give a shout out to. Who's been inspirational
For you?
Oh, I was inspirational to you?
Yes, baby.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
An answer.
Man, I mean, most of my family's been super supportive of me and what I do. My grandfather passed a couple years ago. He was very proud of me and always encouraged. He would love this. He would love that we're doing this. And both my parents have always been very encouraging. Specifically, my mom. My mom's been very encouraging, and yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, family-wise, my grandmother is obviously my rock. She's the best, and we can't wait to get her down here to show her all the things that we've worked towards. She's rooting us on. She's our biggest cheerleader. So, but she's also just awesome. You know, she'll get in there and throw back some glasses of wine with everybody else. So, can't wait to have her down. But we've also been fortunate enough to have some really cool people in our lives from the small area that we come from, you know, one of which was our elementary school PE coach, who also was a football and basketball coach with my father for 25 years.
Cool. Yeah.
So if Coach Tim McMullen does find this podcast, I want to make sure that we say what a big part of our lives that he was, because just always uplifting, always just, you know, hardworking guy, just never wavered. You know, he was another kind of rock in our community growing up. So
He also married us.
he was also the officiant for our wedding.
That's super cool.
Yes. So so he's been a huge part of both of our lives.
That's
But,
super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some teachers, you always look back and you're like, some teachers really made a big impact.
Yes.
Yeah.
As far as support, though, also I'd like to maybe mention that we wouldn't have been able to open up this spot the way we did without the help of
With my family.
both of our families. Both of our families.
Both of our families. So.
Yeah. Like his parents and his sisters, and they've all been down here to help clean and paint and do all the things. And
My parents just left 2 hours ago. They were
Yeah.
helping us clean the space. Yeah.
And, my dad, he gave us pretty much every tool you could think of so that we could build the bar ourselves, and we did. And once you see it, Adrian did a great job on the facade, and we did the bar top together. So we've literally built the bar with our bare hands.
How
and
cool is that?
the wood we sourced was from both his family and mine.
Oh,
So
that's neat.
yeah.
So it's all reclaimed wood. All the wood for the bar top came from my parents, and then her father used to build instruments. So he gave us a bunch of decorative hardwoods that we incorporated into the front of the bar as a little tip of the hat to him. So
That's super cool.
yeah.
Yep.
Were you a carpenter? Did you both have carpentry skills back? I mean,
My grandfather was a woodworker, and I've just kind of been around handymen and people like that a lot in my life. So it was a little bit of what I had learned along the way, coupled with blind confidence that I could pull it off. So
watch a YouTube video here and there.
yes,
Yeah.
So biggest project that both of us had done to date, but we think we did a really good job.
He did a better job, and I knew it was going to be great because I've seen him build things before. He built me a shoe bag.
Skeptical, but not.
But
Okay. Yeah.
I was blown away with how well it's turned out. And then the top of it, we did kind of a river run. We did pebbles with resin, and that was my expertise.
It's going to look very nice. Yeah.
That's super
Should be
cool.
beautiful.
Yeah, I've got a friend, Chris Shea, he does the resin stuff, and he can do like the river through the. It's just cool. I mean, but he practiced for like months to do one
Yeah.
table.
Yep.
You got to get it just right and
Yeah.
get hazy or whatever. It's definitely an art for sure. So how can our listeners find out more about the Feisty Pigeon or connect with you guys online?
Yeah, we do have our social media pages up and going that we will be posting to more frequently as we come online and as we have a firm opening date and things like that. And then we'll also be utilizing some digital marketing to get the word out. We're working with a company right now in order to broaden our reach online through Google searches and things like that. And then
Sounds like it doesn't have to be hard. I mean, just type in wine bar.
we should be the first one to pop up when you Google it.
Should be good.
Yes.
Not a lot of competition, which is great. That's great. Being
Yeah.
first to the market is always a win for
Yes.
sure. For
Yes.
sure. What's something that I didn't ask you that if you were hosting the podcast, you would have asked? Anything?
It's a great question.
That's a really good question.
Basically, just to get you thinking about like what did we forget to go over, or touch on that you want to share? Make sure we share.
What do you think?
I don't know.
They're looking puzzled. They're like, I don't know. We're good.
And
I guess when we're going to be open?
We're opening at the end of the month, right?
We are.
yes.
We're opening at the end of the
We are
month.
shooting for the end of the month.
Shooting for the end of the month.
Yes.
I think we'll do a soft opening, and then our grand opening should be like mid-November, right before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's a good wine you pair with turkey
Wine with turkey?
and dressing? I mean, we're going to be Thanksgiving's
You,
coming.
you're right.
Guys are-
Yeah. So one of my favorite, just food-friendly wines always goes well with whatever you've got on the table is Gamay or Beaujolais.
Beaujolais or Gamay?
Yep.
Okay.
So nice soft red that's just really friendly with any food that you got with it. So
Nice.
yeah.
I like it.
Have you heard of those wines before?
I've heard of the Beaujolais.
Yeah.
Beaujolais.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It normally hits its
I
stride
learned
around.
this week.
The Gamay, I heard one of that.
So Gamay is the grape. Beaujolais is the region that made it famous, but now you'll see Gamay grown a couple other places
Okay.
as well. But it usually hits its stride around February for Valentine's Day.
That's the one that comes out like once a year kind of deal?
So that's Beaujolais Nouveau, which is, so that is usually released around this time of year, November. And that's kind of a little teaser for how the wine is going to turn out later on down the road. So they pull a little bit off, release it as kind of a little light, fall rosé almost. And then the Beaujolais will come out later on.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Does it come in boxes? Because that, I'm just kidding.
Hey, don't
Good question. Don't
rule it out.
What's your favorite? Maybe it's putting on the spot too much, but what's your favorite under $5 bottle? Do you have? Is there even a $5 bottle that you can?
They're still out there. I got to admit, it's been a while since I've tasted a lot of them.
Back in the day, with Chili's.
But I always joke that even though I'm a sommelier, I'm not past drinking out of a box. You
Yeah.
know, so I'm not past it. I just don't know if I have a particular favorite at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. You can.
I will say that box wine brings back some of my favorite memories living in Michigan. So I will never knock box wine.
There you go.
Never, ever.
Okay. I like it. Like if you said, all right, you got to go buy one bottle of wine this week and try it, what would it be?
The pipe dream.
Yeah, that's what you're going with.
So you say pipe dream.
Yeah.
Some-
It's delicious.
Yeah,
Yeah. What kind of wine was it?
that one's the Nero d'Avola from Australia.
That one.
Yes, that's the one. All right, Adrian, what's your favorite?
It's going to sound cliche, but if I had to recommend anybody go out and grab a bottle that they're going to have, grab a bottle of Bubbles and celebrate with your friends and your family.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no occasion that Bubbles can't fix. And that's I think the one drink that just brings everybody together, and anybody that enjoys wine can enjoy Bubbles. And so that would be my answer for that. Yeah.
What's your favorite cocktail to make?
Ooh, whiskey neat. Yeah. No.
Whiskey. Yeah. There's your glass.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. It's really easy on me. Everybody seems to enjoy it.
Yeah. You never hear anybody really complain.
Right. It's as far as mixing cocktails, I truly believe that there's an art to the martini.
Sure.
And it's kind of one of those laid bare kind of skill sets. That if you can make a proper martini, and it takes a little bit of method to it, which makes it fun, but it's not overly involved. You're not smoking stuff and doing all this. But a properly made martini, I think, is one of my favorite things to make and drink.
Gotcha. Got another one because my wife doesn't drink much at all, and so are you gonna make some mocktails or some?
Absolutely.
Yes, I think that's an undeniable part of the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
You've seen it come up a long way in the last, decade or so.
Yeah.
And I think especially with the younger generation not drinking as much as some of the older generations have, that's a critical part of the modern hospitality scene. And so we will have mocktails, alcohol-free options, things like that. And then, of course, some kombuchas and some other alternative non-alcoholic stuff outside of mocktails.
Yeah, we've been drinking a lot of kombucha for gut health and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah, I love it. Well, I'll have to bring her over there for sure. Carly will love seeing it. All right, well, the last question. What gets you like fired up where you're just like, let's go?
Like just personally?
Yeah.
Personally, what gets me fired up?
I can go ask somebody.
San Francisco 49ers football.
No, I know.
Football.
Well, football's one, but I'm a new football fan, not a old football fan. So I would say, I mean, honestly, I love a good gospel concert.
That's awesome.
So I think that probably gets me the most fired up. And then good hike. We love to hike.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting to the top of the mountain and whatever mountain we're at and seeing the view, that gets me pretty fired up.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, I mean, I love building stuff, obviously building the bar and having a project like that and being able to pour yourself into it gets me fired up. I've spent far too much time, over here at the Feisty Pigeon getting everything built and put together because it's easy to just get into it and work for 12, 15 hours a day, which I love. But also, the opposite side of work hard, play hard,
Right.
is, I love going out, experiencing, other people in the restaurant industry and what they do. And also, just my family gatherings, are always a really good time. And so spending time with friends and family and experiencing the play hard part of work hard, play hard is one of my favorite things.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Anything else you want to share before we jump off?
I would say that one of the biggest things is that we are newcomers to the community and that we are open, willing, and pursuing some collaborations with other local businesses, whether it be other restaurants or, creators, artists, things like that. We want to really ingrain ourselves in the community and get involved with the other local business owners around here. And so we will be doing some of those collaborative events and things down the road that we'll promote as well on social media or as standalone events, pop-ups and things like that. Yeah.
One more time on how we find you on social media.
The Feisty Pigeon.
The Feisty Pigeon.
Just like that.
Watch out.
Yep. So you can find us on Instagram, Facebook. We will have our landing page and everything set up on thefeistypigeon.com momentarily.
Gotcha.
And so we'll be making sure to shout it from the rooftops when we are looking at the firm opening date.
I love it. If we want to hear your music, Ddendyl, where do we go for that?
Oh man. Well, I mean, I'm on Spotify, YouTube, all that, but right now, mostly, like I said, doing piano events and whatnot. So once we're open, I'll be starting to do performances probably on Wednesday for Wind Down Wednesday. Yeah, but they can look me up online right now.
Cool. Super. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having
Thank you for having us.
I love getting to do this because I get to meet new people, and I just love that. That gets me fired up. And then the people bringing new things and new ideas and new businesses to the area is just great because it's only going to continue to make our area better and
Yep.
bring more people in, and we get to love more people and hopefully share the gospel with them.
Yep.
Right? And if you guys are wanting to come meet them, come on. And if you want to buy a house here, I would love to help you. If you guys haven't bought a house, let's go. But
We're still looking, so that would be
let's
great.
go.
Yeah.
Until next time, I'm Colin Johnson with the Colin and Carly Group at Keller Williams Realty. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for all your support for our area. Continue to help out, send funds, send labor, send water, whatever it might be. We're just we're looking forward to just getting our area back on its feet from this storm. So thanks so much and have a great day.